For me, the most important aspect of my art is I want to inspire people, and I also want to tell people stories. I'm just blown away by people's stories, how people are living, how people are perceiving the world, and it's like I understand that I have a platform which I can tell those stories. A friend of mine brought a book called Subway Art, so mind-blowing for sort of 11-year-old, so much amazing artwork, and this whole subculture, we were just kind of blown away and started trying to emulate what we were seeing. As a young person, you don't necessarily have on reflection, the kind of skills that you develop in your adult years to sort of express your feelings and your thoughts, and definitely it was very raw expression, definitely to some degree for me. I think there was some rebellion, some sense of adventure, and also the community aspect of it. I think one thing I've realised as I've grown up is that how much hip-hop as a culture really influenced me. I wouldn't say any of the people were heroes, but they definitely, like, the sort of phrase hip-hop raised me, it's definitely something that applies to some degree to my life. It was really the way that we was able to navigate life as a young person living in the UK in the 80s and 90s. In my sort of early teens, I was doing a paper round in Windsor Castle. So I was exposed to that. And then immediately, later on, maybe that day, I'm in the tubes, painting tubes. So there was just like this juxtaposition of different worlds. And it's something that I think has definitely carried on in my life. It's like, for me, it's like the phrase, the world is yours, is something I really take literally. Like, I can go anywhere and do whatever I want, and that's what I sort of teach my son. Sort of late 80s, we'd sort of like started to meet other artists in our local area, and then sort of by 1990, 1991, we were very active painting tubes in London. During my active years painting trains, I was always like interested in comics. Not so much for the stories, I wasn't really interested in stories, but I was interested in pretty much British comics, and also artists like Lucian Freud. As well as doing the lettering and the tagging, I would also be developing my artwork. People knew me as someone who was painting portraits. Yeah, I decided I was gonna follow an art career. And I definitely think my mum didn't quite get it, but my dad did say to me once, what it is, the family don't really understand you because you live an alternative lifestyle, and that made me know that he got what I was doing, even though he may not have agreed with the path I took or the route I took, but definitely got me. There are so many people trying to make art and make a living from art. So for me, if you're gonna do it, take it seriously. Like, literally for me, art comes first in anything I do. Any kind of work I get, I always tell the clients that art comes first. For me, that's definitely something that's worked. I've been able to develop my brand, so to speak, to the point where people know what to expect. Yeah, the funny thing about painting in the street is that I always say this, it's like when you're painting in the studio, like, nobody sees your work unless you want the people to see your work. But like, the street is completely different. Like, the first mark you'll make, you're gonna get some sort of comment or critique. So that whole process is a very interesting one. In those early days, we were just incredibly driven. It just really wanted to sort of make a name for ourselves and just express ourselves in this new way that we'd found. I take what I do very seriously, but I also understand that it's not going to be there forever. For people to engage with it, whatever way they engage with it is the most important thing, even if it's just for a day. Personal style is really important to me. It's something that I'm constantly trying to evolve and constantly try to develop in terms of how I dress, and also my art and other aspects of my life. Yeah, the Billionaire Boys Club ethos is street, relevant and premium, and that's something that definitely resonates with me. I think my work is a culmination of all of my experiences, things that I've seen, and when I was young, there was no differentiation between like fine art, illustration, graffiti art. It was all just art, and I try to approach creativity and art with a child's mind, and really to find my way, my voice, and to be original.